Most travelers come to Tanzania for safari animals, but beyond the famous wildlife are tropical islands with white sand beaches, mountains rising above the clouds, landscapes that look almost untouched, and places where traditions continue much as they have for generations. And most visitors never see all of it. Tanzania isn't just wildlife. It's one of Africa's most diverse travel experiences. What people think Tanzania is. When people think of Tanzania, they usually picture safari landscapes, lions, elephants, and endless grasslands. And that version absolutely exists. The classic Tanzania experience has drawn travelers for decades. Images of wildlife documentaries, adventure stories, and photographs from the Serengeti have shaped expectations worldwide. For many people, Tanzania and safari are practically synonymous. But Tanzania stretches far beyond the Serengeti. The country includes mountains, tropical coastlines, islands, lakes, and cultures shaped by very different landscapes. From the Indian Ocean shores to inland highlands, from volcanic craters to spice plantations, the geography shifts dramatically. Each region developed its own character, influenced by climate, history, and the communities who've lived there for generations. And once you move beyond the classic safari route, the experience starts changing quickly. What begins as a wildlife journey can transform into something much broader. Cultural encounters replace animal sightings. Beach relaxation follows mountain treks. The diversity reveals itself gradually, often surprising travelers who arrived expecting only one type of experience. Serengeti, the anchor. The Serengeti is one of the most famous wildlife regions on Earth. Millions of animals move across these plains during migration seasons. The Great Migration represents one of nature's most spectacular events. Wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles travel in enormous herds, following ancient routes determined by rainfall and fresh grazing. The movement involves over 1 million animals, creating scenes that seem almost impossible in their scale. Wildlife here isn't inside fences. The scale feels completely natural. Animals roam freely across boundaries, following patterns established over thousands of years. The ecosystem operates without human interference, maintaining rhythms that predate modern civilization. This authenticity distinguishes the Serengeti from more controlled wildlife experiences elsewhere. For many visitors, this becomes their first image of Tanzania. Safari camps scattered throughout the region provide access to wildlife viewing. Morning and evening game drives bring travelers close to animals in their natural habitat. The experience often exceeds expectations, delivering moments that photographs rarely capture fully. But it's only the beginning. Zanzibar, a different side of Tanzania. Off Tanzania's eastern coast lies Zanzibar, and the atmosphere changes completely. White beaches stretch beside turquoise water. The coastline offers everything travelers imagine when picturing tropical islands. Coral reefs protect the shores, creating calm waters perfect for swimming and snorkeling. Palm trees provide shade along beaches that remain remarkably uncrowded despite growing tourism. Life operates at a different pace than mainland cities or safari camps. Fishermen set out in traditional dhows as they have for centuries. Markets function as social gathering places where business happens alongside conversation. Time seems less urgent, influenced by island geography and maritime traditions, and completely different from the safari experience. Where the Serengeti emphasizes wilderness and wildlife, Zanzibar highlights culture and coastal beauty. The contrast surprises many visitors who didn't realize how much variety Tanzania contains. Combining both destinations creates a journey that feels more complete, offering nature and culture in equal measure. Mount Kilimanjaro. Farther inland rises Africa's tallest mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro. The summit stands nearly 6,000 meters above sea level. Kilimanjaro dominates the landscape across northern Tanzania. The mountain appears suddenly when clouds clear, its snow-covered peak visible from surprising distances. The sight seems almost out of place, given Tanzania's location near the equator. What makes it unusual is how dramatically the landscape changes. Dense forest becomes open land. Climbers pass through multiple ecological zones during ascent. The journey begins in cultivated farmland where communities have lived for generations. Tropical rainforest follows. thick with vegetation and wildlife. Higher elevations transform into moorland with unique plant species adapted to harsh conditions. The climb attracts thousands annually, from experienced mountaineers to first-time trekkers. Multiple routes offer varying difficulty levels. Local guides and porters make the ascent possible for visitors, while their work provides important income for communities surrounding the mountain. Most visitors leave Tanzania thinking they've seen it, but the deeper you explore, the more it changes. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. People and everyday life. One thing travelers often remember about Tanzania isn't only the scenery, it's the people. Local markets become gathering places. Beyond simple commerce, markets function as community centers. Life often feels closely connected to both land and community. Agricultural rhythms still determine daily schedules in rural areas. Planting and harvest seasons shape yearly calendars. Extended families maintain close ties, with multiple generations often living near each other. Community decisions frequently involve consensus building rather than individual choice alone. Hidden landscapes. Beyond the famous locations, Tanzania reveals landscapes many travelers never expect. Lake Natron creates reflections that almost look unreal. The alkaline lake produces otherworldly colors, especially during dry seasons when mineral concentrations increase. Red and pink hues dominate, created by salt-loving microorganisms thriving in extreme conditions. The lake's surface acts like a mirror, doubling the visual impact of surrounding volcanic landscapes. Thousands of flamingos gather here. Lesser flamingos breed at Lake Natron in numbers found nowhere else. The harsh environment protects nesting sites from most predators. When conditions align properly, the spectacle of millions of flamingos covering the lake becomes one of Africa's great natural events, and every region feels different from the last. The variety results from complex geography. Rift valley systems cut through the country, creating dramatic elevation changes. Coastal plains transition to highlands. Volcanic activity shaped entire landscapes. Each geological feature influenced climate, vegetation, and ultimately human settlement patterns. Food and culture. Tanzanian food reflects many influences. Coastal regions often combine African, Indian, and Arabic flavors. Spices introduced centuries ago remain central to cooking. Coconut milk appears frequently in coastal dishes. Pilau rice, biryani, and samosas show clear Indian influence. Grilled seafood seasoned with Middle Eastern spices reflects Arabic trading connections. And meals often become social experiences shared with family and friends. Why travelers are looking beyond safari. Travel in Tanzania is changing. Many visitors still come for safari experiences. Wildlife viewing remains the primary draw for most international tourists. Classic safari routes continue attracting hundreds of thousands annually. The Serengeti, Ngorongoro Crater, and other famous parks maintain their appeal. But increasingly, travelers are staying longer. Instead of quick safari trips, people build more comprehensive itineraries. Week-long visits extend to 2 or 3 weeks. The extra time allows for deeper exploration beyond standard wildlife circuits. Exploring islands. Zanzibar and Pemba attract growing numbers seeking beach relaxation after safari adventures. The combination creates balance, mixing active wildlife viewing with coastal downtime. Island hopping adds another layer, with smaller islands offering even more seclusion. Hiking mountains. Kilimanjaro climbs continue increasing despite the challenge involved. Lesser-known peaks like Mount Meru attract serious hikers seeking quieter alternatives. Crater highlands offer walking opportunities ranging from day hikes to multi-day treks. And discovering regions beyond traditional wildlife routes. Who this side of Tanzania is for. This side of Tanzania is for travelers who enjoy contrast, for people who want wildlife and beaches. The combination satisfies different travel moods within single trips. Active morning game drives can lead to afternoon beach relaxation. Adrenaline from safari experiences balances with coastal tranquility. Adventure and culture. Checking off bucket list locations like Serengeti doesn't mean missing hidden gems. Well-known destinations can anchor trips while leaving room for unexpected discoveries. The balance between planned highlights and spontaneous exploration often creates the most memorable journeys. Tanzania offers all of it. Tanzania isn't just safari landscapes, it's mountains, coastlines, communities, and places that quietly change from one region to another. And once you move beyond the obvious places, you realize how much more there is. The country reveals itself gradually. Each region adds new dimensions. Wildlife remains important, but becomes just one part of a larger story. The complexity and variety keep drawing people back for return visits. Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version. What part of Tanzania would you explore first?